Music is the universal language. It crosses boundaries, it spans chasms, and it does have the power to unite. Now, if only we would let it do so. We have gone off the rails a little bit as a species, and hopefully at some point soon we'll be able to recall and remember what it was like to enjoy life, enjoy exuberance, and exult in musical excellence as performed by legendary musicians throughout time. What you just heard was one of the greatest live performances ever committed to tape. And it was performed by my favorite rock band of all time, Alice in Chains. Now, if you've followed me for any number of years, you know that I have put together playlists over the years, and I try to do at least one per year. There's one or two per year, and I call them braid mixes. And I put them on my website at www.braid.zone. So go check them out, give them a listen, and by all means, tell me what you think. This is something I've done since the year 2010, when cracks started to form. In the enjoyable and exuberant reality that we had worked up towards. We had done a great job as a species, despite our differences. We had gotten to the point of working through the civil rights movement of the 60s. It brought us all together, and then we went straight, as humans often do. We go straight for it. We went straight at it in the 1970s, and wouldn't you know, it didn't take too long before we ended the decade with disco. a almost purely peacocking showman form of music that had its moments. I have to say, I'm not here to just diss on disco, as it were. Anita Ward certainly had some key numbers, and actually, when I was born, the number one hit song on the radio and on the charts was "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. A fantastic song, actually, a good one. But when you think about it, it was a pretty brief period, wasn't it, when disco reigned supreme? Now, disco is a sign of, some would say exuberance, and some would say decadence. Do you see how those balance each other out in a certain sense? So you understand that's what we're always working towards. We want to keep things balanced in this world and in this society that we inhabit together. There's too much out of our control to think that we can use whatever means we come up with, whether it be government or propaganda or the entertainment industry, to force a certain wavelength onto the greater world around us. I don't think it can be done. And if it can be done, it would certainly require a greater intellect and a greater heart, really, than anyone on this earth currently possesses. But we can work towards it together. I think we could at least do that. But we're going to have to help each other out. We're going to have to give some tips and tricks to try to help us get there. Now, this past weekend, the Marvel superhero movies reached their nadir. The Marvels is a movie that no one wants to watch. It encapsulates all the tropes and the boredom and the staleness that has beset that line of movies. And certainly we should give a shout out to South Park for making fun of Disney and Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige, who certainly deserves the lion's share of blame accordingly. Not to mention those creators, producers, directors, writers, whatever, who have already been fired. Disney is headed down a drain pipe, and those of us like me are wondering, I wonder when someone will be bothered by all this. So now it is a volatile battlefield. I think the Disney situation is one worth watching because we will see if Ike Perlmutter and Nelson Pells are able to assert themselves, which I hope they do. Now, granted, they are both businessmen who have profits in mind, and that's okay. You see, when people accuse someone of just having the profit motive, as if it were some shallow, short-term concern, that is a wrong way of looking at it. I think the profit motive is one that seeks to engage with the larger customer base, the larger audience, and on a basic human level wants to relate to them, wants to, in a sense, give the people what they want, as you've heard it stated. But it's not just some cynical motive of wanting to give the people what they want. It's literally we're all in this together. We want to give each other something to enjoy. And I think we have that going strong in this country at varying levels. We certainly had it post World War II and all the way up through the 90s and 2000s. Now, and it was fun, wasn't it? It was fun. But unfortunately, at the same time, there was a cancer growing within us, and we knew what it was. We knew what it was. We knew it was the universities. First and foremost, that's the staging ground, the college system in America. The cancer grew and grew and grew, and now it's grown to almost balloon-like levels. And will we deal with it accordingly? We should. I think the stronger the action, the greater the relief for the rest of us as citizens. The greater the rewards to everyone once this cancer is cut out. So, one thing I have thought worth considering is an instantaneous conversion of maybe not all universities, but an instantaneous conversion of the Ivy League universities into insane asylums. I actually think that would be a great idea. It probably won't happen, but it could with enough pressure. It certainly wouldn't be irrational or groundless in pursuing that. I think it's entirely deserved. Of the Ivy League universities that have clearly forsaken any strand of connection with their founding and their founders. For you see, the only people who at this point would have a zealous interest in becoming presidents, deans, chairmen of boards, of whatever, of those rotted out, worthless institutions, are those who wish to change them completely from what they were originally about. And what they were originally about was the free exchange of ideas. I mean, something that should be very easy and simple and even pleasurable for most people to pursue. It's fun to go to a place where you know you can get things off your chest and exchange ideas freely. But of course, we know now that's not what's happened. The universities in America, and specifically the Ivy League universities, should be converted to insane asylums immediately. And the enrollment in those asylums probably wouldn't even change that much, would it? So let it be done. Let's give it a try. If the students currently enrolled in those universities are truly intelligent, and I will even give them a hint, resourceful enough to survive such a move as that, then they will migrate to where they need to be. They'll make the choices that are the correct choices to make in such a scenario. But how many of them do you think will do that? How many Ivy League students are truly intelligent? Really, the betting line is more or less than the general populace. I think they once would have thought themselves to be comfortably ahead of the general populace, but I, for one, don't believe that. I'm telling you right now, my bet would be against. I think they're idiots, fools, morons. Go take a walk on any Ivy League university campus and ask those who attend what they hope to accomplish with their lives. It's a free form question, so see what they say back to you. Now, I can tell you when I went to college, I would have been fairly excited to be able to answer a question like that. Probably would have not come across super polished. All right. These are kids in their early 20s still, but they should be able to give you something. But the students at Ivy League universities are simpletons at this point. They are dregs and drains on our society. They're an example of true failure and decadence of a society that's completely pompous and has lost respect for those who founded it and the struggles that they went through. Just a society of shallow idiocy. It's easy to see. Now, at this point, I want to guide you to someone better equipped than the Ivy League to perhaps give you direction. I will say number one for me is probably Professor Michael Sugrue. I'll try to put a link to it in my bio if I can, but Michael Sugrue, Sugrue, a fantastic YouTube channel, and just go there and start watching his videos. He's posted some videos from one. He was a teacher in the 80s and 90s, a professor in the 80s and 90s. And he continues to post videos throughout this past year of himself today, just expounding on a completely wide range of topics. So go follow that YouTube channel. After you've liked, subscribed, and followed me, go like, subscribe, and follow Michael Sugrue. Michael, Sugrue. And just enjoy all of it. And after you've watched all of his greatest hits. We'll meet together next time for my next video for you.